live in a cave. Imagine what it feels like, what it smells like, how the air feels on your arms. I want you to imagine that Monday morning comes around, and you're doing your cave duties, you're washing your dishes, whatever, and you look up and you see a light coming in through the cave. And so you're intrigued because you've never seen it before. So you're digging, you try to get out into the light. Well, you end up stumbling into broad daylight. And so immediately you can feel like the warmth melting the cold off of your skin. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is nice. And so you open up your eyes and you look straight into the sunlight. And like, we've all done that and we know how like offensive it is when like you look straight into the sunlight. And so being a cave dweller, your natural response is that you run right back into the cave. And basically the Lord was just giving me like an analogy of why a lot of people think that being a Christian or going to church is a really good idea, but why a lot of people actually aren't. And so basically he said that a lot of people see the light. They see that there's potential in church. They go, they end up in a church, they end up in a small group, and then what they see when they get there is people boasting about their righteousness, just shining it in their face. And like the sun, like our righteousness was never something that was meant to be stared at. And so I was like, so basically people run back to their caves after they see that. They're offended by it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, God, we've been running people into the caves. What do we do? And so he's like, the best way to get somebody out of their cave, out of their old life that they keep running back to is by, it's actually the warmth of the sunlight, not the intensity of it. And so I just want to encourage you guys that like, let me find my notes here. Okay, so like you don't need to pluck the sun out of the sky to be able to be like, guys, look, it's bright. So like you don't need to shine your righteousness at people, they see it. What you need to do, like the beautiful thing about love is that people see it when they're around you. And so just like when you step out into sunlight, like the sun meets you right where you're at, and that's how our love should be, like it finds you. And so like when you guys are around people, like the best way to get them into the church and into love is by just being that love that finds them. That's not saying like, you stay over there, I'm putting expectations on you, and like you can come over and we'll love you like once you're cleaned up and stuff. It's saying like, oh, this is great, this is right where you're at. And so I just want to encourage you guys that like, when you meet someone, like you don't know what caves they've been in, you don't know where they've been in life, and so just love them like right where they're at. And yeah, don't run people back into their caves. Like we don't need that. Just be the people where when people get in your presence, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel love. I never had to earn that. I never had to work for that. The love's just there. Like you should never have to work for love. So, sing.